Hello, second grade. This is the video I told you I would be posting about our afternoon assignments. Normally we will have a live afternoon Zoom class, okay, from 12:30 to 2:30. Now, thank you for being understanding about the important family thing I have this afternoon, so I'm making this video. It will be, shorter than our live class, but I want to give you information that will help you complete your last few worksheets. What we had on our list for doing today is some heritage studies and also some spelling, introducing our new spelling list or working on our new spelling list. Now, when we were last together, we finished our other chapter of our history book and we took our history test online, right? So now we're starting a new chapter, chapter 4. I love these pictures that they give us to introduce our new chapters. So here's our new chapter, Land That I Love. And then there's this really pretty nature picture on there. Okay, so Land That I Love. And here's a focus, something that we'll be learning a lot about is that God has blessed our country with different resources, different landforms, and bodies of water. Okay, so we'll be coming back to that information. Some of the key words that we'll be learning the definition of and talking more about are climate, natural resource, landform, and region. Okay, so that's introducing, this is our new chapter, chapter 4, Land That I Love. That's a bit of a quote from a song about America. Okay, so we're learning more about this country where we live. Page 60 begins talking about regions. Okay, God has always wanted people to fill the earth. He wanted them to live in every part of the world, and he knew that people in different places would have different lives. In the United States, some people live on the coast near an ocean. That's like our part of California is near the ocean. Some people live on rich farmland in the middle of our country. Some people live in rainy places and some in dry places. The different parts of the country are called regions. So that's one of the important words that we'll come back to. I wrote it down here. Sometimes I remind you that if you see a word in bold print, that means it's one of our key words. So regions, that's in this chapter, regions are different parts of the country. Different parts of the country. And you can imagine how that affects how people live or what they do for jobs or what they do for fun. What region of the country you live in. Different parts of the country. So we live near the ocean, so it's fairly easy. Even when we talked about what did we do over the Thanksgiving break, several of us said, oh, I went to the beach, right? My family and I, we went to the beach 2 times just in time to watch the sunset because we live in a region that's near the ocean. If someone lived in the very middle of America, getting to an ocean would take a long time. They wouldn't just do that for one day. Should we go watch the sunset on the beach? No, that would require a whole trip to go someplace different. Or if you live in a region that has a lot of mountains, you could do things like skiing or something else like that for fun, right? It can also affect what types of jobs you have. So if you're close to an ocean, it could be like this picture in your book. There are fishermen. This is their job, being fishermen, catching fish for a living. They have to live near an ocean or some type of body of water, right? There's also a picture of a cowboy, a rancher. This rancher lives in a dry region. So he also lives in a region that's long, has lots of wide, flat spaces, so he can move his cattle or other livestock around. Okay, so the region that you live in, the different part of the country, that affects what kind of jobs there are to have, what kind of things people do for fun, and whether it's rainy or dry or mountainous or flat, near an ocean or a place where you could plant a lot of crops if you have a lot of open land with good soil. Okay, so different regions of the country. Different parts of the country are called regions. I wrote it on our page. Okay, natural resources. Turn to page 61 if you have your book. If you don't, just listen and I'll read it to you. Regions have different natural resources. A natural resource is something in nature that God gives people to use. So it's something in nature that we can use. Here are some examples of natural resource: water, soil, trees, rocks, wind. These are all natural resources. What are natural resources that are found where we live? We live in a place actually that people sometimes say it is rich in natural resources. Our region, California in America, it has farmland, it also has the ocean, right? It has a lot of different natural resources, okay? God wants people to rule over the earth. He wants us to build cities and roads and plant crops and make beautiful bridges. But God also wants us to love others. We should rule the earth in a way that helps others. We can plant new trees in place of those we have used. We can keep our water and air clean. By taking good care of our resources, we show love for those living around us. Okay, so a natural resource is something in nature that people can use. Something in nature that people can use. Okay, so I like these pictures here, natural resources. Our definition. Natural resources, because they occur in nature and God made everything. They're like gifts from God. Okay, here's a picture. This is a lady working in a greenhouse. So she is planting or growing some type of crop. It sort of looks like strawberries maybe. And it says a greenhouse in California uses the sun's light and heat to help plants grow. Okay, so that's California. That's our region. These big things are called turbines. They're powered by the wind and they are making electricity. Okay, it says a wind farm in Kansas helps people use the power of the wind. A wind turbine can be used to make electricity, to generate electricity. One wind turbine can produce enough electricity to supply 600 homes. Wow. So it's a natural resource, a natural way to make electricity. We all use electricity in our homes, right? Wind farms usually have between 5 and 150 wind turbines. When they are generating electricity just with the wind, this makes electricity without making any pollution. Isn't that fascinating? So I think that's really cool. I love that people came up with it. And I love that that's a way that we can have electricity, which we need for powering all sorts of things in businesses and in homes, but there are ways to do it without making pollution. Because it's true, one of the ways that we can show that we love God and show that we love others is by taking care of our region, taking care of our natural resources. Okay, I'd like you to open your worksheet or take out your worksheet from your packet. It says, using natural resources. Write a way that we can use each natural resource. Okay, natural resource is something in nature that God gives people to use. So now everybody might not answer the exact same things on this page because there are many ways that these natural resources can be used. Trees. We think of some ways that trees are a natural resource that we use. Trees can be used to make lumber for buildings. Trees can also be used to make paper. They can do a lot of things. But so you might write down lumber. That's like when a tree is turned into wood for building. Maybe you just want to write building, or you could write make paper. Or you might want to write plant more trees. That's something you can do. If some trees are being used, it's good to keep on planting more so that there's always that natural resource for people to use. Now, water. Water is an important natural resource. Water is important because we all need it, right, for drinking. So we can write, We use water for drinking. We use water for washing, right? So you could write either one of those, drinking or washing. And like I said, we might not all have the exact same answers. Maybe when you start thinking about this, you might think of an idea that I didn't mention, but I'll look forward to seeing what you came up with. Here we have soil, and we use soil. Dirt can also be used to make other things like concrete or stuff like this. I think the thing I think of right away is having good soil for planting, right? Planting food or crops. I know some of you like growing things in your garden or helping grandparents with gardens and things. You've mentioned that to me. So a good use of a natural resource, the soil, is to plant things. This is a picture of wind, okay? So wind is a natural resource. We might use the wind just to do something for fun, like fly a kite or sail a boat, right? Or some people have figured out ways to use wind to make electricity. Okay, so you could write fly a kite, or you could write electricity to generate, well, it would have to be like make electricity. That's a big word. It didn't quite fit. Okay, so those are some things about natural resources. Okay, and that's from your Heritage Studies book. And I know some of you don't have your books yet, but that's why I read that aloud to you. Now you also have a spelling list. You're going to introduce these new spelling words. Some of them are pattern words that follow the same pattern, like face, places, space, or ice, rice, spices. Okay, be, me, he. Some of them are memory words. They don't follow the rules, so you just have to memorize. You can't sound them out. Okay, only, one, and once. English is a funny language, and so there are some words that don't follow any of the sounding out reading words. We just memorize how they are spelled. Okay, so you have a spelling page. You only have to do the one side, so be sure you check on Teams to make sure you're doing the page that I'm requiring. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow in our Zoom class. It will start at 8:30. And work hard on your schoolwork. If you have any questions, circle them. You can ask me tomorrow, or you can send me a question on Teams. If you just send it to me in the chat, just to me, I can help you out, okay?